multiplication, addition, and subtraction of complex numbers. Now, any complex number can be written as Z equal to A plus BI, where A is the real part and B, the coefficient of I, is the non-real or imaginary part. We state that real of Z, which is the real part of Z, is A, and the imaginary part of Z, which we indicate by MZ, is the B. So let's look at a few examples of how we do the operations on imaginary numbers. So let's look at A. It is 5 minus 3i squared. Alright, so the square means it's the bracket times itself. So we follow the same FOIL rules that we've learned previously. So we'll say that it's 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times negative 3i will be negative 15i. Negative 3i times 5 is again negative 15i. And then negative 3i times negative 3i is positive 9i squared. So let's simplify this then further. So it's the 25 minus negative 15 minus 15 is negative 30i. And remember that the definition of I is that I is the square root of negative 1. So therefore I squared is equal to negative 1. So this whole term, the 9i squared, will become negative 9. So we can simplify further. 25 minus 9 is 16 minus 30i, and that is then our final answer. So as you can see in this, the real part is then 16, and the imaginary part, the m of this expression, is negative 30. Now let's do B. 3 plus 2i times 3 minus 2i minus I squared I to the power of 4 minus 1, close bracket. Right, so let's start by parting the terms. So here we have one term and our second term there. So this whole expression consists of two terms. So I'm going to simplify the first term and then the second term. So here we have 3 times 3, which is 9. 3 times negative 2i is negative 6i. 2i times 3 is plus 6i. And then 2i times negative 2i is negative 4i squared. Now for the second part, let's just move this up a bit. Negative I squared. Now negative I squared we know is plus 1. So I'm going to simplify that as plus 1, because remember the I squared, let's just look at this. I squared is equal to negative 1, right? Now this negative 1 times the negative that's there in front already gives me then the plus 1. Then inside the bracket, I know that the multiple of 4, we've proved this. I to a multiple of 4 is 1 minus 1. Right, so let's simplify this further. Now we have 9 minus 6i plus 6i is 0. And we have minus 4 times negative 1 for the I squared. Then in my last term, this is 1 minus 1, which is 0, times the 1 is 0. So this simplifies to 9 plus 4, which is 13.